On January 19th, 2013, the first-year Macalester Bonner scholars loaded up our bags and traveled to New Orleans, Louisiana. Our community-based trip focused on the continued efforts of New Orleans to restructure and redefine itself post-Katrina amidst various educational, ecological, economic, and political challenges. Utilizing a critical framework, we explored the current status of education, community, and cultural survival in New Orleans through various site visits, academic readings, civic engagement opportunities, and conversations with local leaders, activists, and scholars. In the issue area of education, we worked primarily with two community partners, Success Preparatory Academy and the Families and Friends of Louisiana's Incarcerated Children, or FLIC. At Success Prep, we had a chance to connect with our first grade pen pals, a moving experience for many Bonners. Working with New Orleans students deepened our understanding of, and sparked a new interest in, issues of racial inequality and also educational success. Upon our returning to Macalester, multiple Bonners have expressed a new passion for educational equality because of the time they spent with the students of Success Preparatory Academy. We were also fortunate to connect with Damika Morgan, Flick State Coordinator. After reading scholarly texts and watching documentaries on the school-to-prison pipeline, Damika's visit helped us understand the importance of continued advocacy for each student's right to education. We learned how the current system is fundamentally unjust, and how Flick is fighting for a better future for all of Louisiana's youth. Community proved to be a difficult talking point for many Bonners. It wasn't until we connected with community activist Robert Greene and the Vietnamese Initiatives in Economic Training, or VIET, that we could begin an effective discourse on what it means to actually be a part of a community. Robert Greene, a longtime friend of Macalester College, invited us into his home in the lower Ninth Ward to share a meal and his personal story. Robert exemplified the power of how a community takes care of its members, even in the midst of a tragedy. His practical knowledge of how the world operates helped us attach concrete examples to our previously theoretical examination of New Orleans' community of the lower Ninth Ward. Our second community partner, VIET, allowed us an opportunity to work alongside members of New Orleans' Vietnamese community in planting fruit trees outside their community center. VIET was especially powerful because of the pure joy present in all of its members. The people we were working with truly and radically embraced love as an organizing principle. Members of that community cared very deeply about each other and welcomed us with open arms.
Like one heartbeat coming together with a bunch of heartbeats, and then once those heartbeats are gone, it gets
Each Bonner gained something different from these community experiences, but in summarizing the impact of New Orleans on our understanding of community, one Bonner put it quite nicely.
I have come to recognize that community is more powerful than any natural disaster.
Our third and final focus area was cultural survival. This category is difficult to engage, because how can we understand an entire culture from a few brief experiences? However, we did join in some powerful cultural moments with the people of New Orleans, especially at the Backstreet Cultural Museum and through the experience of second lining. Visiting the New Orleans Backstreet Cultural Museum very much enhanced our understanding of cultural survival. To see the Mardi Gras Indians as a cultural expression that has been sustained over so many generations was truly incredible. Despite violence, police brutality, hurricanes, and poverty, this piece of New Orleans culture has survived and flourished. Not only has this element of culture survived, but it has evolved to meet the needs of the time, transforming from an expression of gang violence to a showcase of tremendous craftsmanship. The New Orleans tradition of second lining presents its own vibrant culture. We joined with the undefeated divas in marching, dancing, and celebrating our way through the streets of New Orleans. Actively participating with the people of New Orleans opened our eyes to how intertwined community and cultural survival really are. It is only in a strong and loving community that a culture can truly thrive. These three focus areas, Education, community, and cultural survival engaged a different type of educational process. Instead of learning from a professor, we learned from the city and the people who lived there. We learned by getting our hands dirty and by listening to the stories of local residents. Perhaps that was the most moving part of New Orleans. We saw firsthand how communities respond to disaster and prejudice, and the radical love it takes to build a brighter future.